who has been made king or ruler or whoever that has been say you go and preside over this country to be, except they have genuine reason, cogent, verifiable, genuine reason why the man should be removed, so that it will not trigger crisis in that community. Are you getting me?
Mm-hmm.
Because we need peace in River State. All the stakeholders, everybody, should be doing things that will always guarantee peace in their respective communities in this state. That is my humble opinion.
Thank you.
Other thing that will fall back.
Thank you very much for your contribution there. So, well, I think the most that we know was that the original traditional ruler before is late now. Uchendu can brief us more on that. The traditional ruler before was died.
Yes, he died,
and that was what brought about this fracas that we're having now between who should be, because it was Eze Daniel Dodo that came up, and there were still issues even while he was there, because they went to court and they were trying to settle all of those issues. But now it's been said that it's no longer him, but Vincent Igwe as the new traditional ruler of the community. Hello to Today95.1
FM. Andrew
Lawson.
But just like what the last caller said, there is an existing traditional ruler there now.
Well, according to what we've been hearing, it's been in contention ever since the traditional ruler died. It's been in contention.
I know that when the traditional ruler died, another one was elected or appointed or whatever. Now that has been existing, and from what your correspondent is saying, is that there was a split into two groups. One group with the existing traditional ruler, and another group, you understand, with those who want to dethrone that one. And then bringing native doctor. What, I don't even know the role of the native doctor. Honestly, I'm confused. All of these things is just a recipe for crisis. In a modern time, was the role of the native doctor? Is it that the native doctor will now come and point hand and say, okay, this is supposed to be the other one, the real traditional ruler? I don't know.
Well, they have their own cultural means and rights and methods of selecting their leader. So perhaps it's one of them. We can't question their methods or how they want to do it, because it's their tradition. It's how they go about selecting their traditional ruler.
No, agreed. But you understand, there are two groups already. The appointment of this other one is not unanimous. They both brought and all that. So this is just another problem waiting to happen. Why is it that these things cannot be organized and done properly, where everybody will accept the outcome, or a good number will accept the outcome? The police need to guide that place, because that community, they've always been in the news for all the wrong reasons. So police need to guide that place and keep vigilant. Otherwise, the way I'm seeing it from the story from your correspondent, it looks as if there will be another problem again. Honestly, I don't understand why these things cannot, they cannot organize it, and transition cannot take place smoothly without any issue.
Okay.
Well, that is it. But then, the cooking gas, you have to understand Nigeria. Forget about that VAT or whatever. We cook mainly with gas and kerosene. This cooking gas, most times, those selling it, that's why I say Nigeria is a very funny country. They follow the price of kerosene. A lot of people cook more with kerosene. Right now, kerosene is 280 naira per liter. That one is even the filling station. Those who don't have access to filling stations that are in the villages, they probably even buy 300 naira per liter or more. So when they see it like that, they also fix the price of cooking gas like that. Following the price of kerosene comes down, they also bring the price down of cooking gas. So when they begin to talk about VAT, I don't think it has anything to do with VAT. It has nothing to do with VAT. I don't even know why kerosene 1 liter will go up to 280 naira. So that is what they are following. Them that are selling it are the ones fixing it like that.
Well, he said that they buy at 4,200 and sell at 4,000. They buy at 4,300 or 4,200 and sell at 4,500 for 12.5 kg.
That's what they will always. No, see, that's what they will always come and tell you. You understand? Cooking gas, we produce it here in Nigeria. So it's supposed to be cheap. We produce it. We would export it heavily through LNG. So why is it that they will come and say, just like the marketers,
Austin, much of the time is already taken. We'll
right,
get to the bottom of it. Thank you very much. Let me, Uchendu, would like to find out from you, because Austin raised something interesting. He said, especially when a majority is not in agreement. Well, it seems like, the four families that make up Alakaya community, the members of the four families, are in support of the new, the process that took place today.
Even the one that they are claiming to have dethroned today, some persons from the same four families also supported
him.
Yes.
Okay, so we have members of the four families supporting both sides.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay, then we'll just have to wait and see how this work plays out. Hello. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, my brother.
You're welcome. What's your name, please?
My name is George George. I'm calling from Emo local government area.
All right, go ahead.
My brother, Nigeria is not even proactive. I don't want to say much. Understand me? See, let me just say one of the issues that we have in this Nigeria. One, if a government is going to be sincere, whatever thing they say, they want to carry out some policies, and the masses, they look at it that the masses is going to make sure that they took it. It will be very good for us. Look at last 2 years or last year, they said they.
Hello. You have to call us back. Very sorry about that interruption there. You're rudely interrupted by the network. Well, the SMS portal is open, so you could make use of that. You can send messages to 070-933-9962. And a few messages we have here. I'll just take some of them. It says, the problem has started. Police should be on ground to forestall any eventuality until the final adjudication of the court to determine the real monarch. Festus Digbani. Andrew, chief priest rather than native doctor. Okay, all right, get the point. Good evening to you, Mr. Presenter. I am a very enjoyer from the community. The community should make sure peace reigns in their actions or doing. All right, thank you very much. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
You're welcome. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Andrew. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good, though. Nigeria is getting interesting. Anyway, I'm just calling in. My name is Charles.
Okay, Charles. Go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to make a little correction on what you call it before that. I think that is Boston. Is it Lawson that called?
Yes.
LNG is not. We have liquefied natural gas, which is what LNG is. What we are using for this cooked petroleum gas, LPG. So do not come in and give wrong information. They are quite different things. Then I want to make what the government is talking about, the partition, the blah blah blah, is LPG. Liquefied petroleum
gas, yeah.
Not natural gas. Not liquefied natural gas. So people should be informed.
No, thank you for pointing that out. Thank you. All right. Yeah. Also, skip my mind when he said it. It's actually liquefied petroleum is what that's what they're talking about, or not liquefied natural gas. That's what in Nigeria we have in excess and we're exporting to other people. But liquefied petroleum gas is what has been talked about. Hello to Today95.1 FM.
Hello. Good evening.
Yes, you're welcome.
My name is Ability.
Okay.
My question is the late royal ruler. How did the man emerge as the Royal Highness at the Lekohe?
I want to ask your correspondent.
Well, I think he answered that, and he would answer it again.
Okay, I'm here to help you.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. All right, so Uchendu, he says he wants to know how the first person emerged as the traditional ruler.
I've answered before, but I was not invited the way I was invited today to witness. But in course of my interview to them, they said the same way this one emerged was the same way the other one
and that prompted me
emerged.
to ask the question: the chief priest, was it the same chief priest who was involved in this one that was involved in that one?
Not at all. They brought an unknown person, a fresh person that never come to Alakai according to them. Me, I
so
can't
who is the official chief priest of Alakaya community? Was he at this ceremony? Because he is supposed to be at this ceremony. Don't they have kingmakers? I'm sure. I don't know if their culture allows for kingmakers.
They do not have any kingmakers.
But the chief priest of the community, was he present at the event today?
No, they don't have any chief priest. It is the paramount ruler that acts as the chief priest. He worships the deities of the community.
Okay.
So whomever emerges as the paramount ruler becomes the chief priest, becomes a traditional ruler. You go to the shrine, you are the one to worship the shrine, you are the one to take the affair of Alakaya people. So there's no other person that is supposed to be there.
So who brought in this person?
That's why I said delegates from the four families went out. All of them, the same car, went out, visited a native doctor there. They bargained. He came down here with them. There are four persons inside the same motor. They came down here and he's allowed to perform whatever consultation he need to perform before naming whomever the gods may have put in his mouth.
Okay.
That is the process.
Right. Thank you very much. Hello to Today95.1 FM. I'm pretty sure you got your question answered. But if you didn't get it answered, you can go on YouTube and watch it again. We're live on YouTube, by the way. You could search for us on YouTube. Meanwhile, to our SMS portal, this one says, when chieftaincy tussle brew into two opposing sides in a community, it brings unrest in such areas. How would the community determine a king through an oracle in a corrupt society? Joshua Kalio sent in this one. Hello to the 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good evening to you. What's your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Chris. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Okay, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, let me say something. And I don't know the type of traditional rulers we have. In my own community, in my own kindred, they don't. It is my first time to hear that they are dragging a chief position or traditional ruler position. They don't drag those type of things. If you are sent to that role, if it does not belong to you, you will die there. So all these things, let me ask, is he a political traditional ruler or son of the soil ordained by the people? They don't drag traditional ruler. It's only in this river that I have been beginning to hear that somebody is dragging traditional ruler. These people will be on the side of this person like they are doing votes. What type of traditional king is this? They don't drag traditional king, my goodness. Any traditional king, they enter in dispute like this. It's a political thing. They are just using it to, you see them, there's those people you see going to Abuja asking for money. How do you see a king, traditional son of the soil king, leaving his throne, coming out? Who are you to come out and where? How can you see a king? All these boys that I'm seeing around, parading themselves, say they are political kings. They are kings, ruling a community. They are political jobbers. That's what I call them. A king, they don't drag a position of king. That's it. You can't even dare there. They are poor. Okay. You can't even touch it if it does not belong to you. You will die there instantly. Let them come to my community and drag chief or king. If they are parading themselves, you see somebody who just somebody that is smoking Igbo will come and say it's a king. King my foot.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution, though. Hello, good afternoon, or good evening, rather, to Today95.1 FM.
Good afternoon.
Good evening to you. What's your name?
My name is Madiba.
All right, Madiba.
I wanted to equally correct that impression, and I thank the caller that spoke about the LPG and the natural gas stuff.
Yes.
In as much as I don't attack anybody, please, your caller, he seems to be from Bayelsa. He seems to be knowing too many things, but nothing. For the past 6 months or so, do you know we are importing Nigeria, so-called giant of Africa, a petroleum producing nation. We are importing the LPG from India. Are you getting me, Andrew? This is our issue. People will not know and they will call as if they know everything, whereas nothing. This is even an appalling situation right now we have in our country. Are you following me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Very, very appalling situation. Nigeria is importing close to 6 months, going to 6 months or plus now. We're importing LPG from India. My brother, I just want to please, if somebody is calling, you must not call in every program. If you don't have the facts, you let the program roll. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Hello, Today95.1 FM. Good afternoon.
Hello, Andrew.
You're welcome. Your name, please?
Good evening. Yeah, I got Lucky from Romulo.
Okay, Lucky. Go ahead.
I want to talk about the traditional ruler matter in the Alakaya community. Yeah. My take on that issue is it to say that the chief priest have been compromised? Because if the chief priest was not compromised, then I didn't see any reason of any other group to come and contest the same stew again. If what they are doing is reality and not compromise, then anybody that claims ownership of that stew should come and take an oath before the chief priest or the oracle, as they claim they use oracle or the chief priest. Then if the person remains alive, then he becomes the chief. If not alive, then we will know. Every person that believes in that, we know and understand. Then clarify the air so that we know exactly what they are dragging for, if there are some level of compromise or not. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you very much for your contribution here on the show. And just to make a quick clarification on the liquefied petroleum gas, I think I had to talk about this since, Nigeria imports actually 47% of LPG from either the US or India. There are other countries, but majorly the US and India. And in fact, as of the second quarter of 2018, about 165.71 million liters of liquefied petroleum gas was imported into Nigeria. And Nigeria also imports about 23 metric tons of liquefied petroleum gas from Argentina, just a few countries that we import from. So it's actually known as cooking gas, just in case. So we import it, we don't produce it in Nigeria. But for the liquefied natural gas, I think, yes, we have that in the country. But for the cooking gas, no, we don't, we import. And possibly that's where the VAT situation is coming in from, and hence the price on the particular item. Let's go back to the text messages now, and then take a few of them before we wrap up on the show. So when the first kings died in the time for native... This is the time for the native doctor to check who the next king would have been, to avoid problems. Kendi Alamu from Port Harcourt. Kendi, well, we can only ask all these questions. I don't think I'm the person to answer this. What if the chief priest was bought by another group, Ikemba or Hafia? So bad the traditional stool has been politicized that the judiciary should be the ones to install traditional rulers. Shame on all of them. Kelly from Port Harcourt. Well, thank you, Kelly. Thank you all for your calls. But with this one, we wrap things up for today. At the end of the day, we can only ask and pray that Alakaya community would be peaceful, because if for anything, we don't have only indigenes of Alakaya living around here. All right, so peace is mostly needed so business can thrive and development can continue. The platform has been a production of our news department. It was put together by Chinedu Iwona. Same time on Monday, we'll do it again. My name remains Ifeemi Andrew. Bye-bye for now.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Good evening and welcome to today's edition of Bits and Pieces on your premium talk and news radio, Today 95.1 FM. I am Ifeemi Andrew. In Osun State, a 50-year-old man is reported to have been remanded in prison custody by a magistrate's court for alleged threat to life and breach of peace. Adebolu Ifemi, whose plea was not taken, allegedly conspired with others yet to be caught to commit felony. The prosecuting officer, Inspector Abdullahi Emmanuel, told the court that the defendant conducted himself in a manner that could lead to breach of peace by causing panic among the residents of Toro village, Ilefe. Emmanuel said the defendant threatened the life of the entire villagers and made the place ungovernable. And now to Lagos, a 42-year-old man identified as Philip Sangbedo is reported to have been arraigned before a magistrate's court for assaulting his wife. Philip allegedly hit his wife on her forehead and bit her little finger during a misunderstanding about a text message he had seen on her mobile phone. The prosecutor, Inspector Aminu Isaac, said the couple got married in 2004 and had been living together since then with their 4 children. Isaac told the court that the misunderstanding arose from a text message Philip saw on his wife's phone, which read, "If your husband dies, can you live?" Isaac claimed that the message prompted Philip to conclude that his wife was planning to kill him as such, conducted himself in a manner likely to cause breach of public peace by inflicting injuries on her. And now to South Africa. A 24-year-old medical doctor is reported to have bitten off the tongue of a man who attempted to rape her. The incident reported happened while the unidentified doctor was asleep in her apartment at the staff quarters of the hospital. The would-be rapist, who is now receiving treatment at the hospital, had gained access into the hospital posing as a patient and tried to force his tongue into the doctor's mouth. The alleged perpetrator is said to have failed to carry out his mission on the doctor after she managed to bite the tongue of the alleged rapist. The unidentified man was later arrested and taken to the hospital for plastic surgery under police guard. And now to Ghana. A man simply identified as Kofi is reported to have stabbed his wife for refusing to allow him to use her money on sex workers. The man, who is identified as Adakwa, revealed how her husband stabbed her repeatedly in the head after she refused to allow him use her money to pay a sex worker he had spent the night with. Akwa said her husband had spent the night outside their home, only to return in the morning with a sex worker who had demanded payment for the service she rendered. The hairdresser said in an argument ensued, been instructed by a traditional healer. And with that, we conclude this edition of Bits and Pieces, produced by Sasongo Stella of the News Department. Thank you for listening. Until next week, have a lovely evening. Bye-bye for now.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Cultism is a monster whose ravaging effects have left tales of woes such as loss of lives, kidnapping, drug abuse, threats, destruction of properties, blackmail, rape, and many other ills in society. In our society today, poor parental training, peer pressure, poverty, quest for power and social identity are the leading factors that contributes to youths indulging in this act. Again, peace can be restored to our society only and only if we attach value to human lives. And this would bring about rapid development to our community. Say no to cultism. This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, voice of the people.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
So good to have you here. Representatives from Daily Income, Engineer Offer Monday. He's the MD CEO for Funny Vision Nigeria Limited. Good to have you here.
Good morning.
Mr. Gabriel Hero, entrepreneur.
Thank you. Good morning.
Engineer Victor Etin. Good to have all of you here. For the sake of the so many who have not heard this, and I'll be surprised if they haven't, but for the sake of those who haven't, what is Daily Income Stores?
Okay, for those who are tuning in for the first time to this frequency, Daily Income Store is a physical store here. Of course, that all you need to do is to walk into this store to do your own shopping. Of course, and then after your shopping, you have to drop your account details. Why do you have to do that? So that as other people are shopping from that same store, you'll be getting daily income or daily alert. And the good news is that this store sells things that we cannot do without. For example, you are hearing me right now. You cannot stay without not brushing your mouth. You're going to use chewing stick or toothpaste. You cannot stay without not taking your bath. You're going to use solid soap, liquid soap, or solid soap. That means human being daily needs and want cannot be satisfied. All these things are available in Daily Income Stores. Your normal daily needs and want, things you cannot do without. So all you need to do is to walk into Daily Income Stores only once in a year to do your shopping. Then you drop your account details. As other people are shopping after you from the same store, you'll be getting daily income. We are already 13 years in over 100 countries. We are already 7 years in Nigeria. And we are telling you we are holding a big business event because some people don't know about this. That are holding a training to show them how things work. And of course, if you are already hearing me and you're looking